In this video, we are looking at rules of exponents, and this is a review. And here we start with the vocabulary. So here if I have 5 raised to power 2, the 5 is the base and 2 is the exponent. And the whole expression is called the power. And let's look at the rules of exponents. The first one is the product of powers. And if I have a raised to m and a raised to n, you can see the bases are the same. So to get, when you multiply them, you just need to add the exponents. Again, the bases have to be the same. So if I have the first example here, let's go to the first example. So here, this is going to be 5. And then I add the exponents, so 2 plus 6. So I get 5 to power 8. If I do the next one, it's going to be y to power 4. 4 plus 3 plus 1. So that's going to be to power 8. And let's do another example here. When I have these ones, the first thing is to multiply the numbers. So 7 times 6 is 42. And then I take y raised to power 5 and then y raised to power 1. Same base, so it's going to be y raised to power 6. And then we can do the next one here. So this is negative 3 times 5. So you have negative 15. And then x raised to power 2 and power 1. So x raised to power 3. So x raised to power 3. And then y raised to power 7 and 6, 13. So let's go to another property, quotient of powers. So when you are dividing, you got to make sure the base is the same, then you subtract the exponents. For example, this one is going to be y 6 minus 1. So we get y raised to power 5. And then we go to the next one. It's going to be 6, 13 minus 2, 6 raised to power 11. We go to the next one. And this one has a series of steps. First of all, I simplify 10 divide by 15. So I simplify it. So I can divide by 5. So that becomes 2 over 5. And then what about so 2/5 when I simplify that fraction. And then I got to a raised to power 7. So I'm going to subtract the exponent. So that's going to be a to power 2. And then b is going to cancel out. So that's going to be my answer. Okay. Something to remember here is the 0 exponent. So when you raise a non-zero number with an exponent of 0, you get 1. And here is a way to illustrate that. See, if I have 8 squared divided by 8 squared, remember this would be, there are 2 ways to do this one. So this is going to be 8, 2 minus 2, which is going to be 8 to power 0. And this is what we are saying is equal to 1. Remember, I can show this mathematically by doing 64. 8 squared is 64 by 64, and I get the same answer. So here, all this is raised to power 0, so that's equal to 1. And here, what do I have? I have 8. X raised to power 0 is 1, so plus 5 is equals to 13. Remember, here only x is raised to power 0. Okay. Now let's go to a negative exponent. Remember, whenever you have a negative exponent, you want to make sure you make it positive. And the way to do that is to write the reciprocal of it. And if I have this example here, let's do some examples. So if I have this one, this is going to be 1 over 2 raised to power 3. If I have this one, remember, the negative 3 doesn't change, only the exponent. So it's going to be negative 1 over 3 to power 3. Remember, the negatives remains. Okay, now the power over power. And here in the power over power, so you have a raised to m, and then you have n outside the parenthesis, so you just multiply the exponent. So let's check some examples here. So this is going to be x, and then 2 times 8, so power 16, and this is going to be y, then negative 4 and negative 3, so that's going to be 12. That's going to be 12. Okay, now let's move on. And then this one here is the power of a product. So if you have a and b in parentheses raised to m, is the same as a to power m and b to power m. So if I have this example here, and here I'm not going to do all the examples, I'm just going to do one. So this is going to be 4 to power 3. This is going to be 4 to power 3, and x to power 9, y to power 3, y to power 3, y to power 3, and then z to power 3. And of course, you can simplify the 4 to power 3, and that's going to be 4 times 4, 16 times 4, 64. And then everything else is going to remain to the exponents we see over here. Okay, and here the next one is the power of a quotient. So the same thing, you just a raised to m and b raised to m. So if I have this example here, so I get 3 squared, 5 squared. And of course, you could simplify that to 9 over 25. And in the same way, you can do this one. So this is going to be 2 raised to 2, a raised to 10, and b raised to 14. And this could be simplified more. So 4a raised to 10 and b raised to 14. And I'm going just to stop there. So that's a review of the rules of exponents.